What is an ashram and why should we practice in an ashram?
Ом, намасте. Существуют ашрамы как уклады жизни.
There are ashrams as lifestyles.
Время нашей жизни в разные отрезки.
At different times in our lives, in various segments of the traditional Sanatana Dharma, it is prescribed to take ashrams.
То есть это институт.
There is the Brahmachari Ashram, also known as the Brahmachari Institute, where young people study the ashram of their guru.
Человек переходит в
There is the Grihastha Ashram, which occurs when a person enters a family life. Vanaprastha Ashram, when a person retires from business, is akin to becoming a pensioner, a downshifter, or a hermit who leaves everything behind after 50 years to indulge in practices, meditation, and mantras. There is the Sannyasi Ashram, where individuals enter a hermitage, adopting monasticism and renouncing the world. These are ashrams, interpreted as lifestyles and periods of life. It is a model of behavior for those who follow Sanatana Dharma. Moreover, this model of behavior is also relevant today. The question was asked, as I understand it, about the ashram as something else, as a spiritual, educational institution in which lay people and monks live and practice. What is ashram? The ashram tradition in Sanatana Dharma is very ancient. If we read the Upanishads, some ancient Vedic texts, the ashram is described as the house of the spiritual teacher, the Guru Sthana, or the house of the Guru. When the spiritual teacher lives in the forest, it can be a family spiritual teacher, like a rishi, for example. They have a kind of hut, a place where they live and cook, and students come to them. As a result, a forest community emerges, the ashram grows, and the learning process takes place there, where they are taught spiritual sciences. If these are young men from wealthy families, they are taught Sanskrit, politics, psychology, medicine, Ayurveda, astrology, and many sciences. Thus, the ashram serves as a structure for an educational institution, an academy for magical and spiritual arts. When the question arises, what is the purpose of the ashram? Imagine a music school with a clear purpose, to educate and train musicians. People leave the music school receiving a musical education. They leave as musicians. Alternatively, if there is an art school, it trains future artists. Similarly, the ashram is a divine and magical school, an academy for the arts of magic and spirituality. In such places, brahmacharis, young students, grihasthas, lay people who come for a while, or sannyasis who live permanently, go through the same process. They undergo training, yoga practice, and the principles of serving bhakti yoga, and they live in the ashram as spiritual individuals within a single spiritual family, following their spiritual path. Thus, ashram is a part of a large Vedic or Tantric culture. For example, our ashram is part of the worldwide community of Sanatana Dharma. The community is part of a large monastic order. The order is part of the tradition founded by Shankaracharya, known as Dashanami Sannyasa. The tradition of Shankaracharya, Advaita Vedanta, is a part of all Sanatana Dharma, encompassing all of Hinduism. And the Hinduism is a part of all humanity, a part of the cosmos, and a part of the universe. Thus, from this perspective, the ashram serves as an essential core, a kind of mystical school, and an alchemical laboratory that prepares genuine spiritual masters and teaches and trains in the spiritual arts. Training takes place at the ashram. For example, in our tradition, training is conducted through various types of yoga: Raja Yoga, contemplation,
кундалини-йоги,
Kundalini Yoga,
шат-чакра-йоги,
Shatchakra Yoga,
майя
Maya Rupa Yoga,
иллюзорного тела,
Yoga of the illusory body, Mantra Yoga, Dream Yoga, Yoga of light, Nada Yoga,
другим видом йоги.
and other types of yoga.
Ашрам предоставляет возможность
The ashram offers a chance to study and practice these types of yoga for an extended period, refining your qualities and characteristics and cultivating your abilities to comprehend the divine.
вашего,
The purpose of life in ashrams is to learn, to develop one's abilities to comprehend the divine, to develop one's qualities, one's wisdom, and one's spiritual powers.
когда мудрость и духовные силы
As wisdom and spiritual powers develop, the yogi can attain samadhi, a state of transcendental consciousness.
освобождения
He can attain liberation and leave the circle of births and deaths.
и ашрам это где
And an ashram is a place
люди обучаются
where people learn spiritual arts,
очень тонким
often very subtle and profound.
в магии.
Much like magic, magicians develop their arts by operating elements of nature, willpower, training in magic spells, and control over reality.
Таким же образом, вашими, как в Академии
In the same way, as in the Academy of Spiritual Arts, yogis learn to manage their attention, work with different energies, invoke gods, chant mantras, delve into the mysteries of the universe. They study theology, metaphysics, mystical psychology, traditional texts.
развивают свои способности.
They develop their abilities.
Главный
The main principle is,
права высшая
what is the ultimate goal?
для того,
For what purpose?
достичь
To achieve liberation and enlightenment.
категории человека перейти в
To move from the category of a human to the category of a sadhu, from the category of a sadhu to the category of a jnani, an enlightened sage,
перейти в категорию
and from the category of a jnani to the category of a siddha, an enlightened miracle worker operating reality,
сил,
from the category of a siddha to the category of mahasiddha, and then deva, the deity,
который принимает определенные.
who takes on a certain responsibility for maintaining this universe.
Таким образом, можно сказать,
Thus,
что
it can be said that an ashram is an academy, a spiritual, divine, mystical institution that prepares spiritual masters, that trains and prepares future enlightened and liberated sages, who in the future can become perfected siddhas and even gods.
Ом, намасте.